Truthfully, top.
All right, so what did we talk about yesterday? What did we talk about yesterday? Daniel? Topic sentences, what about them? What about them? How to write them, okay? So we learned a bit about how to write topic sentences, and we also practiced some of the skills that go into a topic sentence, some of the elements, and some of the sentences that follow a topic sentence. All right, well today we're going to expand that knowledge. Today, we are going to focus on creating an outline for a single paragraph, okay? Now, all right, what's the topic for today? It is called a single paragraph outline. We shorten it to the abbreviation of SPO. And also, we can read the aim for us today. Daniel.
How can we use outlines to compose a well-developed paragraph based on the details based on Bernard Evelyn Carroll's project?
Excellent. So we're going to keep the scope of Phaeton, the story of Phaeton, which is a very dramatic story. Lots of ups and downs. Right? The sun sharing goes up and down. Okay, so we have a writing prompt to do now. Option 1. Who can read option 1 for the class? Yes, Zach.
Why are outlines an important part of the writing process? What are some strategies you use to develop an outline?
Very good. So try to think about all the outlines that you've done in the past. Right? Why are you even writing outlines? And what are some strategies that you use in your own outlines? Okay, and the second option, Alyssa? Very good, thank you. So if you have some outline saved in your computer, or you can think back to an outline and how it helped you formulate a written response. How did it help you? Okay, so share that with us. All right, take a couple of minutes, write a response. I'll come back around and share out. Take some attendance. Okay, let's talk about this. All right, so we were talking about outlines, right? So what are some important parts of an outline and why do we use them? Isabel?
Outlines are important part of the writing process to make sure all of the information in the writing language. Some strategies are used to write the evidence music and making and include our lessons with all the information.
Very good. Very good. And I like how you started with the beginning and ending sentence, right? You include those. You think about how putting it all together can make a clear paragraph. Jenna?
Outlines are important and even essential to ways to organize your thinking. Once you have organized your thinking, separated your ideas from one idea to another, and put them in a logical order, writing is much easier. If you don't outline, all kinds of ideas will come to you as you write, and you won't know where to put them. You will end up with a disorganized mishmash. I think an outline is the most creative part of writing and the hardest.
Okay, good. Important, even essential way to organize your thinking. Who thinks that outlines are essential in writing? All right, who disagrees? Does anyone not like to write outlines? James, why? Why don't you like writing outlines?
I don't know, I just feel like writing the actual thing instead of the outline, because I already know what I'm going to write.
Writing the actual thing is...
I'm writing the actual words instead of using an outline, because I already know what I'm going to write.
Okay, so you think that's all in your head and then you could just spit out the information into a paragraph or essay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Zach?
I could answer the second one.
Okay, did anyone else want to share why they don't really like outlines? William?
I don't really like outlines because a lot of times I actually find them harder than writing the full essay, like just writing the essay, because I feel like I have to like think of reasons, specifically for that, when I can't just, go with the flow and like with the writing.
Okay. Hopefully maybe this lesson might change your mind, right? Zach, did you want to share what you wanted to say about
The second part.
part two?
One outline I've used is race. Stands for respond, answer, cite evidence, and explain or extend. Race helps me make sure I provide my reasons correctly and thoroughly explain my claim.
Very good. Nice. So we've got some prior knowledge of outlines, right? Maybe some even mnemonic devices that we can use to structure our writing. Develop.
And so the outlines can help you get your thoughts together and kind of help you find evidence and reasoning, especially if you just have your plate. But I feel like for me, sometimes outlines they get too repetitive and they get kind of boring and you drag on to them. And I just feel like it would be better if I just put all my thoughts on the paper and then just write it out rather than kind of outline it and go through all the steps of outlining it, writing the full response.
Very good. Okay, so it might be a bit tedious, right? But do you find the benefits of it to be?
In a project form, yes, but on tests, it's better to just write it.
So if there's a time constraint, then maybe sometimes we want to just get to the writing. Okay, very interesting. Jenna, last thought.
It depends on what I'm writing, if I'm going to use an outline. So if I'm doing a simple paragraph or if I'm answering something short, I'm not going to outline it. But if it's an important essay, then I'm probably going to use an outline just so I don't mess anything up.
And that's a good point, right? So sometimes with a paragraph, we could organize our thoughts pretty well in our heads to write down a paragraph, a couple of sentences. But in length, right, perhaps an outline might be very beneficial for an essay in length. Right? So we can really organize all those good thoughts that we have into a coherent response. Now, outlines. All right, outlines. Who can read this little blurb for us? For outlines. The class. Jenna, go ahead, nice and loud.
Outlines enable students to develop their writing as a cohesive whole and visualize the beginning, middle, and end in their writing. Outlines can also help students distinguish essential versus non-essential material and sequencing information.
Very good. So, Isabel, I think that your response said that you were able to find some relevant information, right? Sometimes outlines help us find irrelevant information that we can cut out, we can cull in the process. Right, so that way when we're actually writing our response, we don't have to really spend too much time talking all about a point that might not help our essay or help our response. Okay, so maybe there's some more there. I included this image here to the left, right? Has anyone heard of AutoCAD? A program called AutoCAD. Okay, it's a software on the computer that you can use to develop building plans. So architects, civil engineers, city planners, they use this on a day-to-day basis. Okay, my friend Doug, he's an engineer, he uses AutoCAD, right? And they really help you map out a building, right? A building plan. So think of outlines as a building plan. You're not just going to go up, show up to a build site and start building a house from scratch without any real schematic plan, right? Unless it's like Minecraft, right? So you want to make sure that, okay, let's have a plan so that this building can actually stand up straight, right? So that the foundation can hold. This is a building that can last, right? So, quickly, let's discuss a topic sentence. Can someone remind me what a topic sentence is? We know, an informal definition. Camilla.
It's a sentence at the beginning of a paragraph that like states your claim.
Okay, sentence that at the beginning of the paragraph states your claim. Good. You can add on, Isabella. Introduces a topic you're talking about. Boys, right? Yeah, introduces a topic that you're talking about, right? That way you can know exactly what that paragraph, your readers know exactly what that paragraph is going to be about. Right? What else? What other elements? What other elements do we talk about that could go into a topic sentence? What are some elements? What did we use yesterday? A lot? Apositives. Very good. Apositives in our topic sentence. Camilla? Subordinating conjunctions. Okay, so all these tools, again, you don't have to always use every single strategy and method that we have learned in this class into one sentence, but you can use them appropriately to make your sentences more complex, make your topic sentences more coherent.
Is it possible for the topic sentence to be somewhere else in the paragraph?
Is it possible for the topic sentence to be somewhere else in the paragraph? I would say it is possible, but it generally lands in the front, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, actually. I'm sorry?
You can put the topic sentence in the conclusion.
You could restate the topic in the conclusion in a sense. But I wouldn't put it anywhere besides the start of the paragraph. Okay? Yes, Mr.
So you
Armstrong?
want to talk about why? Do you want to ask why? Like why should your paragraph start with your topic sentence?
Yeah. Why should your paragraph start with the topic sentence? That's a good question. What do we think? Please?
Using to hook the readers about what your topic's going to be about.
Very good. Hook the readers to what your topic is going to be about, Michaela.
If you're given supporting evidence and all the information, and you just put this topic sentence in the middle, readers are just halfway through and realize all the information is like.
Right, exactly. So sometimes that can confuse the readers if you throw it in the middle. Think about the sentence set that we looked at yesterday with Peyton. Right, there were 5 sentences, perfectly complete sentences. But if you threw them all scrambled, you're just not making a coherent thought. You're not making a complete paragraph with a topic. It's very good. All right, let's move on. Okay. So this is the single paragraph outline. Now, this is part of the writing revolution. You might notice that the symbols that we've always talked about for note-taking is also part of the writing revolution. These are strategies, well-researched strategies, that if you employ correctly, you'll be able to better note-take, you'll be able to better retain this information and have more complex and coherent and concise writing. Okay, so that's why we really try to employ these strategies to do this. Outlining. Who likes to read this? James, go ahead.
Outlining is a way to organize your thoughts in a clear and logical way. A single paragraph outline provides students with a roadmap they can follow to plan the beginning, middle, and end of a unified, coherent paragraph.
Very good. Unified paragraph. That's the goal, right? That's the goal in our writing. And this is the single paragraph outline. So you notice that it always starts with the topic sentence over here, right? Start with the topic sentence. These sentences in the middle, what do you think they do? What do those sentences that follow the topic sentence tend to do, Alyssa? They're supporting details. Okay, so they always relate back to support that topic sentence. They are relevant to it. And then the CS means the closing sentence, the closing statement. Okay? Now, what does it look like in writing? Especially in terms of Phaeton, the chapter that we are looking at closely. Okay? Now the topic sentence. Can someone read the topic sentence for us? That's right. Topic sentence. Zach?
Many conflicts arose as a result of Pantheon driving the sun chariot alone.
Good. Phaeton, right? So we learned that Phaeton's driving the sun chariot alone. Okay? And the topic sentence is stating that many conflicts arose as a result of Phaeton driving the sun chariot alone. Okay, you could say that. But how do you support that, right? These are the sentences that follow. We're seeing some symbols here, right? You're making notes. You're not creating full, complete sentences yet, right? You're just jotting down notes based on the evidence of the text. And then the concluding sentence is, in closing, it is evident that Phaeton's decision to drive the chariot had a negative impact on Earth. Okay, so these are the topic sentences, these are the closing sentences that you're providing. Where can we find details to support it? Right from the text. Okay, get used to always referencing back to the text. So I took this little excerpt out to help you with the first part of these supporting sentences. So this is the excerpt from Phaeton, the chapter. It's on Google Classroom. Okay, would anyone like to read this excerpt for us quickly? Jenna, go ahead.
He jerked on the reins, pulled the horse's head down. They whined angrily and tossed their heads. He jerked the reins again. Down, he cried, down, down. The horses plunged through the bright air, golden hooves twinkling, golden manes flying, dragging the great glittering chariot after them in a long flaming street. When they reached his village, he was horrified to see the roofs bursting into fire. The trees burned. People rushed about screaming. Their loose clothing caught fire, and they burned like torches as they ran. What was it, his village? He could not tell because of the smoke. Had he destroyed his own home, burned his mother and his sisters?
Yeah. A lot's going on here, right? A lot of evidence and detail that we can take to write in our notes. Okay, so again, that first supporting sentence, we're trying to explain what's going on with the sun chariot as it goes up and down, right? What conflicts arise when Phaeton rides this chariot alone. So, what we have here, so I'll model the first response, right? We're using the symbols of the writing revolution. The chariot goes down, results in that right arrow, results in burned down houses and villages. You can also say possibly family members, right? That's all from the text. Okay, so I want you now on Google Classroom to open up that worksheet, single paragraph outline. You're going to fill in, pair up with someone next to you. You're going to fill in the rest of these notes, following the model example that I have. You're going to reference back to Phaeton, the chapter on Phaeton, to find the evidence that you need to finish up these notes. Okay? So that's part A. Okay, part B, after you finish these notes with someone, you're going to individually, independently, convert your notes into a well-developed paragraph using that topic sentence and concluding statement. All right, so you're going to convert those notes that you make together into an individual paragraph. Do we understand how this happens? Do we understand how to write these notes using these symbols? Okay,
I
Camilla?
don't get like the arrow thing.
up and down arrow.
So the arrow, it's just to abbreviate, so that way instead of saying the chariot goes up, right? You get to really condense that, save some time, saying it goes down, okay? And then you're gonna convert all this to a coherent sentence. Make sense? Good? You guys all have access to that worksheet? Okay. All right, so yeah, pair up. Find that evidence from the text and write down some notes, okay?
Boys. So what's the actual question? What are we trying to find? Ah, yes, of course. What day we posted? No, I'm talking about the story.
Okay. So, look, the arrow.
Guys, real quick, on the worksheet, I made a typo on accident. Okay, forgive me. The up arrow says decrease, and the down arrow says increase. Okay, so obviously the up arrow means increase, down arrow means decrease.
That is tragic.
Okay.
It was easy. How do you make this mistake?
Alright, boys. So what does he mean to put one cherry? I don't care what he means. Hi guys. You guys try to like do like guys, come on. What happens when the cherry goes up?
Becomes cold.
Is that right?
The middle one. Yeah.
When it goes up, it becomes cold.
It's a meat, like, well, like, it's not talking about 20. It's like a glitch. I don't know.
What happens when the cherry goes down?
And what's happening?
So it goes up. For what?
What's the sun cherry? Boys, what's the sun cherry? It's the sun, right? It's essentially the sun. So the sun is a wheel. It's one wheel of sun cherry, right? It's just massive. And there's forces pulling, and there's little fingers, right, trying to ride it.
The world
And
freezes.
he's saying down there to keep control, and the sun is getting closer to the What happens in the story?
What happens when it goes down?
The world burns again.
Right? Just
Set the blaze.
right? You look at the extras. Sean has it. What happens when the sun cherry goes down? Read it out. Read it to Ryan.
Set ablaze.
And then from there, you can find all the other information on the sun cherry goes back down. Then it goes right down. Okay, Sean, read it.
How do you identify the blood cells?
No, the red ones?
We destroyed Earth. So I got a bunch of people. We were passing
There you go. The red one. Yeah, you're not getting a zero. I got 8 Oh, what the
Water sound. He sets the whole door. When you find it, it's just
mistake in the middle, you would comply. And
No, you're not. All you just do is just
I don't know.
Come back.
don't come back.
See,
Did you?
Wait, there are two assignments here for your life.
one thing or one thing, one action.
That's it?
The blue one.
Yeah.
Show Patreon.
See, but it costs $1.
Let's go find some.
No, not that. I don't have $1 now. I have my SIM card.
Can't strike somebody. I don't know yet. Let's look at
Wait, but then this is already answered. For number 1 and 3,
Then kill them with something.
It's like
Is it 1 and 3 the same?
I'm trying to do what? The ELA? Or ELA?
I'm gonna say Thunderbolt.
It's not.
And then we gotta make it a.
See, but share with all of us.
You know what?
Oh, wow.
I'll give you a whole
This is great.
Yeah,
Kind of works.
No, I have 25 cents.
Those stumbles are so bad.
Yeah, so once you're done with those notes, go to part B independently. All right, you're going to convert those notes into a well-organized and coherent paragraph using the topic sentence and concluding sentence.
Wait, Dave,
For ELA? Okay, I'll send you what I got.
One card.
I'm gonna do the ELA.
Sharing it, not. But they gave you the topic. Scroll up.
I don't like doing the homework. I want
No, first we gotta say what Oh, yeah.
say
I wanna say down. It's a sentence.
That's all you
Yes. No, that's
want to put a period of
Wait, share with me.
Yeah, when out Wait, does this little river melt or could it just dry?
I wanna say villages.
Exactly. It just dries. It just dries. It's not melting.
Yeah, I wanna
William, Mario's there.
Feeling is so rude. No, but I did. I'm just like on my own.
You know, I
Do you know the answers to this?
Oscar's.
Jeff, do you know the answers to this?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
I'll give you what I said that to you.
What happened? The gal
Things that are left on the liver. Yeah?
Thanks. I didn't see that. I actually didn't go.
And then the cherry.
What?
And then you're gonna talk about.
Wait, what did he say?
Yes, yes.
Let's see someone.
I love that.
Yes, you will.
Wait, you know what it means? You know, okay, so it means.
Huh?
Do you know what it means? Yeah, I thought it is.
I saw that list and you tried to send
Oh,
it.
you know,
Yo, I'm not just.
you know, that's what this is. No, it means dog. What do you mean? I just think
Paragraph
dog.
checklist.
Guys, listen up. Keep in mind that paragraph checklist, okay? The paragraph checklist will help you see if you have any elements that might improve.
Is there new
your
quiz
paragraph.
hot? Is it you?
Yeah, I'm talking about feeling.
Raise the brain, you know?
Yeah,
You have to use one?
No.
How are we gonna do that? I said last week. Yeah, although.
It would actually what happened. Remember when we went up to your car and then we were like, what's the date? What's the year? Stuff like that.
No,
Bro,
that was alright.
we're not friends anymore. And I said, stop being friends.
Lastly, it's subordinating nutrition. Mr. Fung.
I think you're supposed to,
was just a smudge of smoke. Again, the substance going up. What is the result?
Zeus was angry. I'm gonna say Zeus was angry. He was angry, right? Zeus was angry.
This is the paragraph checklist. Obviously, I want to mark this up because it's my copy, but you can use this as a reference. And my suggestion is when you're on your Wi-Fi, like,
Yes.
update the browser.
This is what I wrote.
There was
I don't want to leave. I really feel bad about it.
Why don't you feel that, Richard?
I'm not smart. I'm like stupid.
We're all smart.
I
We're
just
all
did.
smart.
Okay, I
Full of
agree.
learning,
Yeah.
we're smart.
Thanks, man.
Okay?
I don't know why I'm still here.
Guys, what is the sun chariot? What is that? What is the sun chariot?
Sun.
No, it's the sun.
It's
It's
literally
the
what?
carriage.
wait, Dad, are you wait, Dad.
Yeah.
Dad, are you sharing?
Listen, the sun chariot, right, which is being pulled by massive horses that are owned by Apollo, the wheel is the sun. When you look at the sun right now, right, everyone looks at the sun right directly to the eyes. If you look at the sun, that's the wheel of the chariot, okay? So when the chariot goes down, what's going down actually?
Everything's
The
burning.
sun, right? When the chariot goes up, as we notice in the text, right, we get to see the results, the
Guys,
consequences
remember to indent.
of what happens when that chariot is being pulled up, higher and higher. Okay, and then it comes back down again. Listen.
It's after.
What's Luca?
That's what I want you to
Trying to turn this puppy.
Is it Russian or?
Oh my god,
He's so weird. He's so weird. When I saw that, I just didn't read it.
In reality, these are all complex.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
Also, the chariot froze the earth.
Mr. Fung. Wait. Can you reflect? You have to reflect. Look.
That's a different.
Use that carrot. I know you're supposed to carrot. It says respond to the assignment on how the who can
Retard in what?
I just make a class comment.
I never heard that word. Oh yeah. Oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask.
You have to read it over page.
Yeah, who wants to raise their hand?
There you go.
There you go. No, we have to read on page.
Mr. Fung, I have a question on the homework 22. How do we respond to the like how do we respond to the assignment? What do you think about how?
So later on, right, when you do the
Oh, I knew it.
So later on, not right now, doing this right now.
I did. I'm done.
Okay, hold on. me see your work.
Okay. So, wait, what is it?
Wait, where'd you
It's like,
But too much money.
Oscar. Besides the world, what else happened?
He moved the sun further away from you. Google Translate.
darkness of airways. Sorry, Scarlet is up.
Oh my god. You can have a STEM assignment? Oh my god. This assignment will be great.
All right.
It's weird. Oh. Christian said it's due tomorrow, but yes, the due date is today. That's
You want to do it right now?
All right. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So we already filled in that chariot going down. Who can show us some notes about that chariot going up? What did you put here? And also tell me the symbols that you put. Alana?
I did results and going into space and falling back to
Okay, so resulting going to space. What happens to the Earth, right? What happened to the Earth when it went to space? Everything went dark, and it was cold. Was it just cold? It's cold outside right now. What else happened? Melissa? Okay. Earth froze, right? Earth froze. Darkness. Right. Anything else? Daniel? Yeah, rivers froze. Crops died. Okay, very good. All right. The evidence from the text. We get a lot of it. We can mention some of the things. What you're doing is you're going to always mention evidence that is relevant to that topic sentence. Okay? All right, the chariot goes back down after it was up high in space. Now it's coming back down. What happens? What are the conflicts that arise from the chariot coming back down? What happens to it?
all the ice is melted and everything flooded.
Okay, so all that ice that was being frozen from the sun chariot going up is now melted, so flooded. Right? What else? Anything else for flooding? Besides flooding, when the chariot comes back down? Water? Water boiled. Okay. Let's go to Zeus' punishment. What happens? What does Zeus decide, Jenna?
He struck his thunderbolt to Papillon and killed him.
What's happening? me saying Papillon.
Wait, what? It's not Papillon? It's Fig.
I mean, it's whatever you, it is, again, the pronunciation is what you want to interpret it as, right? We don't know how to pronounce it. Okay. So, all right, do these all kind of relate to, not kind of, do they relate to the topic sentence? Right? We didn't mention anything that was really diverting from the topic sentence. They all relate directly, they support that topic sentence, right? So, you're supposed to convert this into a full paragraph, which is what I want you guys to do right now. I want you to turn to the person you are working with. Swap laptops. Okay? Read each other's paragraph. And point out some things that they did really well. And if you notice, point out some things that they could benefit from changing, or improving, or removing, or adding. Okay? So you guys can do that right now. That will be until the end of the period. And your homework would be to read your homework would be read pages 1 to 5 of the chapter Orpheus. And also, you're going to respond as a classroom comment as to how that single paragraph outline helped your writing. Okay? Any questions? All right. Yeah. Peer review. Read each other's paragraph. Give them some constructive feedback. Okay? Yes, below.
So 75 is all kind of great.
Because I talked to them all the week.
All right, look, guys. Look, you're gonna put the class comment right here. Okay? Click add a class comment. Get my red marker. Boom, boom.
Okay. Wait, are you cold? Are you cold? Are you cold?
All right, great job today.
Also, I think it's
Well done.
no. Here, I need to open it. Why is this Why is this 75? I could the more time to try. I failed the twice. And I got 87. I got to say that I need to join. How are you going to sing class? I got to sing. That's what I know. We submitted probably got the 94. Wait, where did my jacket go?
Thank you, guys.
What?
Have a nice day.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Who took my jacket? I was literally wearing it. You know what?
Have a nice day. Have a nice day. No, I didn't do that. That's a Tuesday. Bye, guys.
I think they'll have the hobby. Yeah.
All right, guys. Great job. Enjoy your day.